Whew, man, that was a tough one. I'm just very appreciative of the efforts of our guys. Although it's expected and required, it still should be appreciated. And I appreciate the way they stayed in it, stayed together and fought. But it was obvious that, we didn't have a good enough plan tonight with our current makeup and state. We couldn't get enough stops defensively. We couldn't apply pressure with our four-man rush or keep him in the pocket. We weren't good enough in coverage with less than 7. And so, we got to get back to the drawing board and do a better job of putting them in position to be successful with the people that we have at our disposal. And that was challenging tonight, but we make no excuses. It needs to be better. That's how we win these circumstances and get out of these circumstances. Just really appreciative of the efforts of all the people involved. Thankful for Ben to come back in the manner in which he did and get on the moving train and contribute. We didn't get it done tonight. We got a division game next week. We'll assess where we are in terms of who's available to us, and we better make a better plan this week on our way to a divisional game. From an injury standpoint, Ebron wasn't able to return. He's got a knee that's being evaluated. JC has got a pec that's being evaluated. Arthur Millette, I think he's got a neck, but he may or may not have been able to go back in. I think he was able to go back in. We had some other people go down, but I think they're cleared in terms of being able to go back into the football game. So that's where we are. I'll pause for questions.
Mike, was his scrambling something you expected there?
Yes.
But did you expect as much of it? It seemed like
we just weren't effective at keeping him in the pocket. We talked Tuesday about his mobility and what a factor it was, and so it wasn't a surprise to us. We just didn't perform well enough against it.
What makes Herbert so difficult to defend, all-encompassing?
It was us today. It was about what we did or did not do. No disrespect to him or those guys. They played well and won the football game, but that's always our general approach and attitude. We didn't rush well enough. We didn't keep him in the pocket, and we weren't tight enough in coverage.
I know Ben's been able to come back before after missing practice because of injuries, but did you expect him to be able to perform at this level after missing a week with COVID?
Yes.
Brandon Staley said earlier this week when he took over the coaching job, he kind of looked at your pattern and saw a lot of himself in you. What made preparing for a Brandon Staley coach team so difficult or challenging, if it was at all?
I just focused on our guys, particularly with the challenges that we had this week in terms of who was available and not available. It was about putting our guys in a position to be successful. Got respect for him and his program, but that's where our focus was, and that's where it should have been.
Mike, we know the type of leader that Cam Hayward is week in, week out, but what did his performance today say about his leadership?
Cam is Cam, man. He gives everything he's got. And that's why we love him and respect him, and that's why we elected him captain, and that's why he represents us in that way.
Mike, the long touchdown at the end of the blown coverage?
Just wasn't good enough, not a good enough plan.
It seems like the AFC is really competitive this year. How does it compare to his past?
I don't worry about the Joneses, to be honest with you. I stay focused on what it is that we do. We step in the stadiums and we win games. We don't have to look around. And so that's generally our focus.
How much did having Claypool back tonight help what you guys wanted to do offensively?
He's a key component.
Although Harris Najee didn't have a signature game today, what does he mean to this program?
He's our featured runner. He's good in the running game. He's good in the passing game. He's good in all circumstances. Our inability to stop him or slow him down really minimized his impact on the game tonight, which is obvious.